Hey, welcome back everyone. I'm Sailor from Mary's Cornwall Bakery. Everyone calls me Mary. Today I'm going to turn something ordinary into the extraordinary. And I'm glad you joined me. I have chosen a simple pumpkin muffin recipe. And I added butterscotch chips. You could add chocolate chips, or you could just go to the store and uh, buy some already made. But I have made with the same batter. I have made cookies, muffins, and a coffee cake. The nice thing about this is when you use muffin mix instead of cake mix or instead of cookie dough, it's not quite as sweet, so you can dress it up a little bit more. So first we're going to start with the cookies. Very simple. They're nice and soft, and they're kind of old-fashioned, really. But I have used butterscotch chips, and I have just melted a little bit of butterscotch chips in a piping bag. And very simply, I am just going to drizzle these cookies with some extra butterscotch. Just because, like I said, with the muffin mix, they are not quite as sweet, so they'll take a little bit of extra. So there you go. Super fast, super easy. And boom, you have the most delicious old-fashioned butterscotchy pumpkin pie, just like a nice warm cozy treat for this time of year. So next I have a coffee cake. I'm just going to flip it upside down. um, Same recipe. And I have some muffins. I think I'll do the muffins first. And what I'm going to do with the muffins is I'm going to fill them and then just put a little bit of the filling on the top, not a lot. And we're going to dress it up with some oatmeal cookie crumble. Now to fill them, I am going to go put them upside down, and I'm just going to hollow out a little section so that we can get the filling in. And you don't need a lot. Just like that. Once you get your little section um, hollowed out in the bottom, just save that little bit of muffin. There you go. And just kind of use your knife and just kind of make the opening a little bit wider. So here we go, third one. This way, if you fill them from the bottom, then you don't ruin the look of the muffin on the top. So there you go. You can kind of see how it's nice and moist on the inside. Looks good. So leave those upside down. So I am going to, my filling is going to be cream cheese. So I have a bit of cream cheese in there. Hopefully you can see that. Basically, it's half a block of cream cheese and a little bit of sugar. And I'm going to use some whipped topping, about half and half. So it depends on how many muffins you're doing. If you're doing 12, you'll probably want like the whole block of cream cheese and the same amount of whipped topping. So we use this kind of whipped topping. You can just use the whipped topping that you can get at the grocery store in the freezer section, thawed out. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that. Anyways, here we go. You just mix it in, and this makes a super awesome, nice, light, fluffy, and with the cream cheese in there, it gives it that little tang. And pumpkin, cinnamon, they all love cream cheese. And I also love cream cheese. So we're just going to put this in the piping bag, and yeah, we'll just go right for it. When you're doing this, just make sure you save yourself a little bit for the top, because the top is kind of, it's going to look like a cupcake, but it's not going to be as sweet. So for those of us who don't mind having cake for breakfast, this kind of fills that void. So here we go. We're gonna do this. Of course, airlocked, so I'm just gonna cut the end off. There we go. Alright. Beautiful. Okay, so here we go. And actually I'm just gonna do this. There we go. And just put in as much as you can get in there, because it's going to be great. It's going to be like you spread cream cheese icing on your muffin. So it's going to be good. There we go. And I have lots left over for the top. And then you just kind of put these back in. There you go. And upside down. If you want to put a little less in and give yourself more room, depending, but I think that's fine. There you go. And then flip them back upright. And you can put your cream cheese just on the top. There you go. Beautiful. Now you could sprinkle that with some cinnamon sugar, or you could just leave it like that. What I am going to do is I have right here some oatmeal cookie that I added a little bit of flour to the cookie dough and just baked it like a crumble, so it's kind of crunchy. If you don't want to go to all that trouble, you can just take an oatmeal cookie and crumble it up and just put it on the top. And there you go. Like, this is amazing. If you were having people over for tea or for brunch or even just yourself on a Sunday morning, this would be like pretty awesome, I think. Pretty extraordinary, really. Okay, moving on. Now we have this coffee cake. Once again, just used the pumpkin muffin recipe, and this one has butterscotch chips. Same. So with this one, I have some just plain old vanilla icing. You can make some. You can buy it. It's up to you. And again, I am just going to add a little bit of whipped topping to this. And the reason I do that is, for this purpose, if I was just going to put it on a cake and I wanted that little crust on the top, I would just leave it as is. But for this purpose, it's almost a filling and an icing kind of at the same time. So I'm just going to mix this all up, and so it's nice and creamy, everything's mixed in. And then I am going to put it on top of my coffee cake. This is kind of the fun part. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure there's some in the middle. There you go. So when you cut into the coffee cake, it's kind of like it's ice from the inside. Unexpected and delicious. So I'm just going to grab one of these little guys. Love these little plastic things. They make my life so much easier. So here we go. And again, you can find muffin recipes online by the gazillions. So I didn't put a recipe on. You don't have to use pumpkin muffins. You can use chocolate chip or chocolate, or pretty much any kind of muffin will work. Muffin mix, your choice. I'm using pumpkin because Thanksgiving and it is the season, right? So there we go. So I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to put like a little hat on them. There you go. And I'm going to let that sit for a second. And I have here just some straight, simple royal icing. I use hot water and icing sugar, and I made it to that kind of a consistency. Um, if you want a thinner glaze on the top, you can make it thinner. And if you want it thicker, you can make it thicker. But basically, it's just water and icing sugar. And I'm going to just put it in this microwavable container. And because of Thanksgiving, I am going to put a little tiny drop of orange food coloring in. Just enough. This stuff goes far, and you're going to end up with a neon color if you put too much in. If that's what you want, that is great, because see, it goes far. So for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, anything, this is great. Just going to do that. Not going to mix it in totally. I'm kind of aiming for the swirl. And I'm going to heat this up in the microwave for a couple seconds so that it will pour a little bit better. Just give me a sec here. I have some chocolate chips that I have melted. If you're not too fussy and you just want to do a quick design, this is actually a pretty amazing idea. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that after. So yeah, once again, I'm going to try to leave the swirls in. I don't know if I'll manage or not, but here we go. So with this one, I'm just going to do this. And basically, I'm just going to let that royal icing drip down the sides. There you go. If you want it to drip a little bit more, just go right ahead and try to aim it where you want it. I like the drizzle down the side. I think it looks cool. And there you go. So you have like a royal icing on top of a super delicious, soft, creamy vanilla. Or I shouldn't say it's orange colored, but it's on top of the white. It's going to look really cool when you cut into it. It's going to open up and it'll be filled on the inside. It's going to be great, but we are not quite finished yet because I have this idea and I'm hoping it'll work. I just put the chocolate chips in a piping bag. They're just like the store-bought chocolate chips, nothing fancy. I didn't use fancy untempered chocolate. I'm not going to pull out the cold marble slab and get tempering my chocolate. I'm just going to gently warm up some chocolate chips and pipe them out. But I'm just going to give this another couple seconds because it's not quite done yet. Probably 5 is fine. And in the freezer, sorry to walk away from you, I have some crushed oatmeal cookies. And the reason I put them in the freezer is because I'm going to put my chocolate on top of them. And I'm hoping what will happen is the chocolate will, as soon as it hits the cold, it's going to harden. And then I can just kind of pick the whole thing up and use it for a garnish. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I have a little bit of hard chocolate in the end. So I'm just going to kind of get rid of that. So this is going to be a garnish for the top of this because it's kind of like a cake. You might want to take it somewhere with you or something like that. So I'm just going to do just some little round. If I was a little bit more artistic, I would attempt some kind of a design, but I'm not. So I'm just going to do some little circles. Other people, they make it look easy, but let me tell you, It is not so easy. So there you go. I'm just gonna let that sit on top of the cold, and I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit, and hopefully that sticks to that. So just sprinkling a little bit, and it's gonna be almost like a oatmeal cookie there. But I love the combination of pumpkin and oats, and not a lot of things that have cinnamon in them go well with chocolate. But pumpkin is one of those things that goes really well with chocolate. So I'm just gonna let that harden up for a second. Still soft. So just let those harden. This little guy is starting to get hardened. So before it gets completely hard, I'm just gonna put it there. Those guys, this one's looking pretty good. And there. That one I demolished, but that's okay. That's why you do a couple extra. So I'm just going to do 3 on top of that. And as you can see, 3 completely different things, same recipe. You can even do the batter up ahead of time and put it in the fridge overnight. And you can leave it in the fridge, the batter, for a couple of days. Like 2 days, 3 days, probably be great. Say if you're going somewhere on a Sunday, but you don't have time Sunday morning to do it, just do it up on Friday night, and yeah, bake them Sunday morning. There you go. So we got a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of oatmeal, a little bit of everything, all in one. Something ordinary turned into the extraordinary. So here we go. I wonder if I can perhaps cut into one of these little guys, and then you can just sort of see what the inside looks like. Although, there you go. Pumpkin muffin filled cream cheese. And this little guy, just a pumpkin coffee cake. Get a nice slice for yourself. Sunday morning, scrolling. There you go. And there you have your inside. Delicious icing. Couldn't ask for anything better. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned. We're going to have some more awesome ideas making the ordinary into something extraordinary.